So as of January 13th, 2022, coaches Al Washington and Kerry Combs are out as coaches. And for replacement, we got the DB coach from Cincinnati, Perry Eliano. Now, Perry Eliano was a very good coach in Cincinnati. He also held out that defense with Jim Thorpe winner Kobe Bryant and unanimous All-American Sauce Gardner. Now, unfortunately, they lost to Alabama in the college football playoff, but that year alone was a great year for Cincinnati, and that's a big hire for Ryan Day. And they also got 14-year vet and former Ohio State defensive back Tim Walton. He was the Jags DB coach. He helped coach up Jalen Ramsey, who's now with the LA Rams. And Jalen Ramsey even said himself, probably the best coach he's ever had under his tenure whilst at Jacksonville. Now, with another defensive hire in Ohio State would be Jim Knowles, who was the Oklahoma State coach, and he helped that defense become one of the top in the nation. And Coach Day is not messing around this year. We lost with the losses to Oregon and Michigan. Ryan Day said, no more. We're not going for that again. Now, with the defensive questions going on all year with those losses to those two teams, we made some midseason moves. It was Kerry Combs at head coach. Then it got switched to Barnes. When literally working with what we had throughout the year, it was no time to just hire a coach out of nowhere. It's just Ryan Day had to work with whatever he had. Now, with Kerry Combs' departure, he was a very decorated coach. Whilst at Ohio State, coaches the likes of Denzel Ward, who's now with the Browns, Marshawn Lattimore with the Saints, Kendall Sheffield, I still believe is with the Falcons, Eli Apple with the Bengals, Jeff Okudah with the Lions, and from Al Washington, who came from Michigan, he helped bring in people like Cade Stover, an Ohio native, Tommy Eichenberg, an Ohio native, Steel Chambers from running back to that linebacker position, and made a great case for his position this year. Taraja Mitchell, Dallas Gant, who's actually in the transfer portal now, but he was another Ohio recruit. Kevon Pope, the guy who walked off, the game. He walked off like mid-game. But, all's well that ends well for him. Hopefully, he's successful somewhere else. Javonte John Baptiste, who actually was a 4-star, who came in as an outside linebacker at first, but now his hand is in the turf, working that defensive line. Now, with these hires, I think it's great for Ryan Day because with our defensive struggles this year, something like that moving forward, teams we're going to get used to. They know, okay, here's the weak point here, here, and here. We're going to attack them this way with ABC, and that's something that you don't want teams to get used to. I want to say he felt as though in terms of recruiting, maybe there could have been kind of a rough patch right there, but we've recruited pretty well in terms of linebackers and corners, with Al Washington being fired. Tommy Eichenberg had a ball in the Rose Bowl. So I feel as though that was a great, showing of what the coaching was definitely like at Ohio State for Al Washington. The Al Washington fire, I was kind of iffy on because, like I said, I thought he did pretty good with the recruits and, the in-state recruits we brought in and the development of certain linebackers that we had. I didn't think it was something wrong in that sort of area. We were kind of banged up at corner. Denzel Burke, I think his name is, our defensive back that we have, had a ball this year. I want to say he was like second or third team All Big Ten this year as a freshman. So his future is very bright. On the other side, we had senior Cam Brown, who's actually from St. Louis, Missouri. He had a ball this year. Definitely going to probably be an NFL draft pick next year as he's coming back for his senior year. DBs like Ronnie Hickman, who's also coming back. Josh Proctor, who got hurt, but I know he's coming back. We got people on the defensive end of the ball who are definitely going to make a statement next year, with those certain hires that we have. And no doubt about it, they're going to get in the lab, get developed like how they should. We're going to come out swinging next year. Our schedule got released in which, the Big Ten said that they were going to change up. I didn't really see much of a change, but it is what it is. I want to say key games. We got, that team up north at home. I want to say we go to Penn State this year. That whiteout's going to be crazy. We're going to finally get to see how the offense and defense, adapts to that. Can't wait to see what CJ Stroud does in that game and, what both teams have in store. All out is just going to be a great game in general. But our stats for this past year, we averaged about 45.7 games a year. I want to say we were number one in like the most efficient offense, but in terms of defense, we were allowing about 22.8 points per game. And that game versus Utah was a nail biter to say the least. We were down at least 2 touchdowns, I want to say, leading up to the fourth quarter, and then we were getting the key stops on defense and the things that we needed to do to progress forward in that game. And I think that's what really helped us. Our defense stepping up. Whatever Ryan Day told them in that locker room at halftime, they got it, and they went out there and got it done. And that's what I'm mostly proud about this Buckeye team. We have a lot of fight in us. I would say the difference between Urban Meyer and Ryan Day is that when a team would get up on us, that was ball game. They had our pride and everything else right in their pocket. You can go back to look at the 2018 game with Purdue when we went to West Lafayette and we got stomped. I want to say it was like 49-20. Our offense was good, but again, defense shaky, and offenses could score on them. I want to say 2017 with Iowa, we went there and they had on the all-black jerseys, and we got curb stomped in that game. So whenever we would get punched in the mouth in those type of games, we would get punched repeatedly. But Ryan Day and company swings back, and that's what I can't wait to see in the future for Ryan Day and this crew and the hires he made on defense. There's no doubt in my mind that we're going to get these kids in the lab and get them going.